a denaturalization lawsuit at any time, even 25 to 50 years later, if they have clear and convincing evidence that citizenship was illegally procured or procured by fraud. That's absolutely massive, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I mean by Ilhan Omar should be freaking out right now. If the Trump government is exhausting investigative resources looking into her past, any lie she put on her citizenship application is gonna haunt her. This is the denaturalization pathway. If any of these stories, which have been reported on for years, are true, she's cooked. Omar allegedly entered a fraudulent marriage before 2000 in Kenya refugee camp or early entry to her first husband, Ahmed Hersi, or another relative misrepresenting marital status or family relationships on her refugee application, adjustment, or naturalization applications. This hid polygamous relationships or sibling ties that violated refugee eligibility. Although Nita's forged marriage or divorce records from the 1990s, witness affidavits from the Somali community, and inconsistent family timelines in the immigration files. Witness affidavits from the Somali community. Remember, the reason we even know about these stories is because Somalis snitched on Ilhan. This would mean she was ineligible for refugee status due to all that fraud. That's enough grounds for revocation. There's also allegations that Ilhan lied about her family's refugee persecution story in 92 and 95. That would fall under illegal procurement. Also allegations of concealment of criminal or terror ties in her family. There's been a lot of reports that her family is linked to groups like Al-Shabaab, and the implications of that are self-explanatory. If that information was given to immigration officers, she would have never gotten her case granted. And remember, there's no time limit. Civil denaturalization has none. Let me know if you guys enjoyed that breakdown. I'm just in a good mood about this, man. Tom Homan confirming there's an investigation, and us having a real pathway to denaturalization, and then hopefully at the end, deportation. At the very least, we have to investigate her connections to the fraud that's been going on in Minnesota and lock her up. Let's see what happens.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Simon Central. My name is Simon. Today we are diving deep into a topic that's trending online, especially on TikTok and social media. Can Ilhan Omar, who is a US congresswoman, be denaturalized and deported? Let's see. You've probably seen videos claiming she can be removed from the country, or that Congress or even the president has the power to strip her citizenship. Some people say it's legal, others say it's impossible. Before we get into the TikTok clips and reactions, let's see what about Ilhan Omar. She was born in Somalia, came to the US as a refugee, and became naturalized citizen in 2000. That means she went through all the legal steps, took oath, and is fully recognized as American citizen. Now, here's the big question everyone is asking. Can a naturalized citizen be deported? Or are these viral clips just stirring up controversy without any legal basis? Our next few minutes, we are going to watch some of the TikTok videos going viral right now. We'll break down the arguments, pause to analyze what's true, what's exaggerated, and what's straight up misleading. By the end of this, you'll have a clear idea of what the law actually says and why so many people online are confused about this. So grab your seat, pay attention, and let's get into this topic.
I have some good news for all of us, which is about Ilhan Omar. It starts bad, but then it gets good. She married her brother, allegedly, so that he could get into the country and be here, like an immigration matter. Trump keeps saying that she married her brother so she could get in. That's not it. She was already in. She was brought in by her dad when she was young, under 18. But she did reportedly, allegedly, marry her own brother so that he could come into the country, and then divorced him and got remarried to her own ex-husband, I think is how it went, because this is all a fraud to get her brother here. Legal Insurrection, which is a great website, tells me the statute of limitations has run on that claim, that immigration fraud claim with the brother, if indeed it happened. However, because Tom Homan was on Fox saying that they're looking into this brother thing with Ilhan Omar. That's the best news we've heard. I'm thrilled that DHS is actually looking into it. So if the statute of limitations has run on the brother situation, still it should be exposed and documented. There is the possibility that she's still in trouble because now they think, okay, let me just read the following. And they're citing this Matt Tardio on X. Ilhan Omar claims that she obtained her citizenship when her father was naturalized in 2000, just months before her 18th birthday. But there's a problem. No record has been found of his naturalization paperwork. In response to a FOIA request for her father's N-400 paperwork filed by A.J. Kern in June of 2023, the National Records Center was unable to locate any filings under his name. Question, can she be denaturalized and deported if this is substantiated? Answer, yes. If fraud was involved in her father's alleged naturalization, then her citizenship could be on the chopping block because that would be immigration fraud by the dad that would affect her. And that would be a political earthquake, Dave Smith, that if she's not a U.S. citizen, she can't be a U.S. House member and she could be deported. I mean, I just want to give you that little nugget going off into the weekend.
It might be evil how excited that prospect makes me, but that really would be something. I mean, geez, what a weird story.
We deserve it.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, there's no self-respecting country can put up with people. And don't get me wrong, I could make, we've been bombing Somalia for 20 years and hundreds of thousands of people have died in that country and lots of people have fled over, like U.S. action. Like, I'm not trying to sound like a lefty here. I'm just a constitutionalist Ron Paul type guy who's like, we shouldn't have been doing that. But no self-respecting country.
And they can go someplace else.
Yes, but no self-respecting country can have a system where anyone from the world can come in and then immediately start lecturing us about how our society is wrong and needs to be overhauled. It's so outrageous.
President Donald Trump's Department of Justice is preparing to unleash a sweeping new campaign targeting foreign nationals who lied, defrauded, or committed crimes to obtain U.S. citizenship. And it's sending shockwaves through D.C. A newly circulated DOJ memo, issued by Assistant Attorney General Brett A. Shoemate, instructs federal attorneys to, quote, prioritize and maximally pursue denaturalization proceedings, unquote, including against individuals who conceal gang ties, human rights abuses, financial crimes, or simply committed fraud in the naturalization process. That last category is key because according to overwhelming documentation, Representative Ilhan Omar, she checks all the boxes. For years, credible allegations have circulated that Ilhan Omar lied on...
DHS came out and said, we're really considering denaturalization action against some of these major criminals. Can you explain that? I mean, I think that would really stick. A lot of people would say, wow, the Trump administration is really serious if they start denaturalizing people in this country.
Yeah, under U.S. law, if you procure citizenship or a visa, a green card on fraudulent grounds, that is basis for denaturalization or removal of that visa or green card. So, of course, President Trump has directed the Department of Homeland Security. We're doing a massive scale audit on these countries of concern, Somalia being among them. And so we're looking at how are these citizenship procured? How are these visas procured? We know that the past administration, basic mechanisms were not being done, basic checks were not being done. And so we did see wide-scale fraud. We did see wide-scale abuse of our legal immigration system. And so it's really incumbent upon us to go back, see how this was procured. And if that means denaturalization, that's a route that's certainly on the table.
Okay. What is the legal process there? I mean, a lot of people say that Ilhan Omar engaged in immigration fraud as well. I mean, the White House is out posting articles about it. What you're saying is that if somebody like Ilhan Omar was engaged in immigration fraud, that they could have their American citizenship stripped away, and there's a legal process for that.
Oh, absolutely. That's under U.S. law. If they have procured their citizenship, this could be anyone, including Ilhan Omar, on a fraudulent grounds, that could be revoked.
Do you have success in those actions? I mean, we've read the New York Times piece. We've seen some of the build up to this. We've seen the messaging on it. But are you seeing actual success? I know that this is a legal process, right?
Absolutely. This is a case-by-case basis, a legal process. This is something that President Trump has been very focused on. Secretary Noem has been incredibly focused on. But I do, Benny, if you wouldn't mind, I want to back up to also what we're seeing on the ground as far as some of these suspected fraudsters. What we're seeing, and I think that there has been some coverage of it actually from you all, is that these people are really scrambling to cover up their tracks and trying to create the illusion that there are legitimate business operations and business practices going on when it's all a fugazi. So that's something that I think we're going to see more and more of, and those viewers watching should be aware.
30 years in prison and permanent deportation loom as Ilhan Omar is accused of fraud reaching $350 million. In 1995, a 12-year-old girl named Ilhan Abdullahi Omar stepped onto American soil from a refugee camp in Kenya. Not a penny to her name, unable to speak English, living on food stamps and federal housing assistance. 3 decades later, that same woman has become a federal representative for Minnesota, now owning a net worth ranging from $6 to $30 million, skyrocketing by 3,500% in just 1 year. While a representative's salary is fixed at only $174,000 per year, this is no longer a story of rising from poverty to success. This is a criminal case being built right in the heart of the United States Congress. Immigration fraud, money laundering, betrayal of the nation, and it may end with a 30-year federal prison sentence along with permanent deportation to Somalia. Let us walk you through the money, every single dollar. In 2023, the assets of Ilhan Omar and her husband totaled only $51,000. According to congressional financial disclosures, in 2024, that number jumped to $6 to $30 million. What is the source of the money? Her husband Tim Minet's California winery suddenly became valued at $1 to $5 million. Rose Lake Capital LLC, a venture investment fund in Washington, D.C., valued at $5 to $25 million. No public clients and no transparent financial reports. Meanwhile, Omar herself cried on national television in 2024, saying she only had a few $1,000s in her account and was still paying off student loans. While millions of African American, Asian American, and Latino Americans have struggled with inflation and debt, a representative who constantly calls America a white colonial empire suddenly became a dollar millionaire overnight. The question now is no longer whether there is anything shady, but how shady it is. The marriage from 2009 to 2017 with Ahmed Nur Saeed Elmi, a man whom the Somali community in Minneapolis publicly calls her biological brother. And what was the purpose? To cheat for a green card, to cheat federal scholarships at North Dakota University, to cheat the entire U.S. immigration system. Omar called it a racist rumor. But Somali birth certificates, wedding photos, school records, and signed statements from family members were submitted to the FBI and ICE in January 2025. If she is convicted of federal immigration fraud under 18 USCS 1546, the maximum penalty is 10 years in prison for one count. If she is convicted of fraudulent marriage to obtain citizenship under 8 USCS 1325, that adds another 5 to 10 years. If she is convicted of tax fraud and money laundering through her husband's shell companies, it will easily reach 20 to 30 years of federal prison. Adding to this is one more chilling detail, which is that hundreds of millions of dollars in COVID relief and autism child benefits in Minnesota vanished through Somali non-governmental organizations whose leaders donated directly to Ilhan Omar's campaign. And where did that money go? Part of it was reportedly funneled back to Somalia through the underground Hawala transfer system, one branch of which American intelligence suspects of funding al-Shabaab. The newly returned Trump administration has declared clearly that cleaning house will happen and no exceptions will be made. The calls now are no longer the voice of a few conservative groups. It is the roar of millions of Americans across all 50 states. Freeze immediately all assets of Ilhan and her husband. Conduct independent audits of every dollar from 2016 until now. Confiscate all property if proven illegal and contributed to the federal budget to pay off national debt. Revoke the U.S. citizenship granted in the year 2000 through her father if initial immigration fraud is proven, and deport her permanently to Somalia according to the very laws she opposed when they were applied to others. America opened its arms to more than 100,000 Somali refugees since 1991. America spent billions to feed, educate, and heal them. But America will never kneel to kiss the feet of those who take the bread it gives them while holding a knife to stab it in the back. Ilhan Omar is not just a representative. She has become a vivid symbol of the most blatant betrayal in modern American political history. And now the ball is in the hands of the Department of Justice, the FBI, and ICE. If they act, it will be the strongest warning to every person masquerading as a victim to rob America. You may deceive us once, but never twice. But if they...
Yeah, welcome back, guys. So we watched the clips, and here's my take, and I'm going to read it. First, let's be very clear. A naturalized US citizen cannot simply be deported because of political opinions, speeches, or popularity. The law treats naturalized citizens the same as those born in the United States. Citizenship can only be revoked under very strict circumstances, like if it was obtained through fraud or illegal means. But even then, it must be proven in court. Congress or the president alone cannot decide to deport someone. That's a legal process, and it's rare and very difficult. What a lot of people are seeing online is more about anger and politics than law. Some of the TikTok claims are exaggerated, some are misleading, and a few are completely wrong. It's viral content designed to get reactions, not to explain the law accurately. Personally, I think this debate shows a bigger issue: how easily people confuse political opinion with legal reality. You don't have to agree with someone to want the law to be followed. Democracy works when rules are applied fairly, not when viral videos on social media outrage dictate who stays or who goes. So my final view: Ilhan Omar cannot legally be deported under the current US system, and any talk otherwise is mostly political noise. That doesn't mean criticism isn't allowed. It is, but the law is there to protect citizens from exactly this kind of arbitrary action. Let's remember that when we discuss politics online, facts matter. Opinions are fine, but they shouldn't be confused with legal realities. That's why it's important to question the viral claims before sharing them. Thanks for watching, and if you've learned something new today, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. What do you think about these claims? Let's discuss respectfully, of course, and I love to hear your take on this. Be keen to watch my next video that is going to be very interesting, still about the Somali people and black Americans in general. So like the video, you can join my team or support this channel with thanks. We really appreciate. Thank you, and see you in the next video.